Bam! It is time.
So that's when I said, hey, let's kick it up a notch, and went, bam.
That's what I say. It's a thing. It's a thing we say at the Black Tower. Bam. Kick it up a notch.
Blam,
kick you in the
bam,
face.
thank you, Asha Man.
Thank you, Asha Ma'am. I like that. That needs to be a shirt right there. Wham, bam, thank you, Asha Ma'am.
Do you have to say it like that every time?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what. Wham, bam, thank you, Asha Man.
Can you tell we're excited?
Welcome. What, Andrew? Sorry, what were you saying?
I said, can you tell we're excited?
Oh my God! You know what?
I also just realized that the Sticker Mule coaster that comes with all the stickers says "Cheers."
I love it. It makes me happy. I want to say right now that currently we are Schrodinger's Mahales because we are both anticipating Jordancon, which is this weekend, and recovering from Jordancon, which was last weekend. For those of you listening to us live, it is Tuesday before Jordancon. Those of you listening to us not live, it is Friday after Jordancon, and those Jordancon hangovers are probably just starting to wear off. And well, I haven't been yet, but I've also just come back from it, and I can say absolutely epic.
Fun fact, if you're listening not live, you're hearing all of this right now because Josh is being able to communicate with you. But if you're listening live, which no one currently is, but if you're listening live, you missed all of that because Josh is still not
It's I gotta keep you on your toes. Wow!
But if you'd like,
bitches,
if you'd like to not hear Josh live, head on over to blacktowerpod.com, click on the Patreon button, and for just $1 a month, you too cannot hear Josh live. And sometimes the rest of us, but mainly Josh, and then about half the time me, and occasionally we get Daniel.
I will definitely say that I would not have let it go on so long if there had been anybody in the room to actually listen.
Oh, that's a good song. Perfect. Alone in a Room.
Indeed.
That's a really good song.
All right, but here we are. Your Schrodinger's Mahales, as Josh has dubbed us. I actually really like that. Oh, somebody's going to be alone in his room.
Song just gets me in the mood, boys.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's not going to be alone in their room at Jordancon? This guy, because the girlfriend's coming along.
Yay!
So, pardon me if I retire early. No, I don't plan on it, but she is I know she.
I don't plan on it, but I don't not plan on it.
You know, who knows?
I'm not planning on it, but I'm not going to stop it if it happens either.
I like being in a happy relationship, and sometimes that means you go to bed a little early.
You turn in early. Sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you work with somebody who technically works on the East Coast but lives on the West Coast and has a 9-to-5 job, then you go to bed early and you actually just go to bed early.
Can understand because she works overnight shifts. And I work regular day person shifts.
Regular day, but he's a day walker, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of being a daywalker and a Mahale and a Schrodinger and happy in a relationship and whatnot, why don't we introduce ourselves to the people? I am your Amin-Khan Mahale, Daniel.
I'm that there Bajan Mahale boy. Andrew.
Bajon Mahale boy. And I am the soft Mahale, the Soroma Mahale. Josh. Josh with the sauce.
Yes. Josh with this. Well, Josh probably has a lot less sauce right now.
I hope.
Like he has
I'm bringing a ton.
I was gonna say he has all of the sauce right now and none of the sauce right now.
You got your sauce and stitches these past couple weeks. Sauce and stitches.
You're the sauce and stitch male.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So by the way, real quick tangent. Did you guys see the TikTok video that I wanted to do?
I did. Yeah, it's very fun.
I saw that you sent it, but I did not watch it. So let me do that.
I've already reached out to the gentleman.
It's a little bit Harlem Shake-esque, but not quite as dumb, but also exactly as dumb, but is.
So we're gonna do this, and I've already talked to the guys who carry around the banners, the dragon banners and the ancient Aes Sedai banners. And we're going to get as many black coats as we can. And the caption on that video is going to be Black Tower rolling up at Dumai's Wells. Like, it's going to be awesome.
I've seen the trend before, at least. So I have seen videos like it, but
yes,
it's going to be the greatest Wheel of Time video ever made.
You have the gimbal still, right?
The what?
The Black Tower Public Affairs Department gimbal for phones.
Yes, and I will be bringing it,
because that is one thing that Maya has offered in the past is she loves taking pictures and videos, so we may have a camera person depending on how she feels.
Like that's awesome.
Well, the cool thing with this is I have been speaking with lots of different people about all kinds of fun different contents that we can make. Aludra is going to be there, as we all know. We know her as Reese Sedai from the North Harbor podcast. Check out our episode last week. It was awesome.
What are you alluding to?
She's going to have dragons and dragon eggs and all kinds of fun stuff. And I thought it'd be fun to do some stuff there as well. We have to raid North Harbor. We just do.
We already talked about the fact that we don't have any plans to raid North Harbor. It may happen if it happens, but we don't have current
plans. If we can find it, shit.
Instructions unclear, dick stuck in Long Harbor.
Oh boy.
That's like that have you seen it's another TikTok video where
South Harbor is a lot tighter of a fit than I remember.
Where the girl she shows off how she can like tie a cherry stem like really quick with her tongue, and then the dude like you just see a shadow and he's like, she tied my dick into a knot. Except when you go to North Harbor, she turned my dick into Quindiar.
Now I'm always hard.
Which solves one problem but creates many others.
Creates many others. I
don't know. Does it really create a lot of others?
I mean, anyway, so tonight
I feel like that's got to strain like the connective tissue.
What are we discussing? Idea. What happens when
pros and cons?
Yeah. Oh boy.
So there I was. Quindiar weaves on my penis. Oh. This is how we are before Jordancon. This is going to be fucking a mad time.
Well, and the best part is next week we're not even doing like a wrap up of Jordancon episode. Technically, we're like actually going to try to do stuff. Like what? Who planned this?
Yeah. Murphy's Law. Plans are meant to be broken.
That's fair. Which we do fairly frequently. So.
Oh yeah.
I suppose I could edit this episode tonight and put this episode up on Friday of Jordancon. So welcome to Jordancon.
No, I like this Schrodinger's Jordancon.
Yeah,
that's true. I would have ruined a lot of Schrodinger's jokes that way.
You would, yeah. But
if our presence results in another breaking, we'll be sure to do something for y'all, or you'll hear about it. Who knows? Like fucking members from Black Tower Podcast were swinging from the fucking light fixtures. It was nuts. They broke the hotel.
I wanna swing.
Damn it, Shorzy. Fuck you, Shorzy.
For what? So JordanCon and WoTCon. So here's the thing, right? And I'm going to get in front of this right now. JordanCon and WoTCon. This is not comparative in the sense that we are recommending one over the other. Okay. This is not comparative in that we are saying, well, this is really good about this. This is very strictly kind of outlining, because they are two different events. They have different energy. They have different feels. Some of them is a better fit. Some of them is a not so great fit for depending on your personality and types. And what we want to do here is kind of outline from our perspectives JordanCon and how it feels and what it's like and how everything is, at least based on, you know, where we've been for the last couple of years. And what
this is our third time going.
Yes,
correct.
Yes. The Magic 3. And then the
third time's the charm on getting banned.
I did tell Tom from Dragon Mount that we now have a life goal of being the Toastmaster at least once before we die.
Oh yeah,
that must happen. That has to happen at least once.
I should actually attend one of those Toastmaster things before that happens, so I know what it's about.
So basically they have a toaster there, and if you can successfully make the best toast, you are named master.
I got pretty good at fidgeting with the dial and turning it just right. So
perfect. Then you got a leg up.
There you go. The previous year Toastmaster is generally they do like a little skit where the previous year is ousted by the current year, and it's a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun with it. So that's one thing I have to do.
I'll bring my Flammenwaffen, with which I shall waffen flammen.
Waffen flammen?
This is my Flammenwaffe, with which I waffen flammen.
I will say this, like Andrew pointed out, 3 years ago, the three of us attended JordanCon for the first time. Actually, that was all three of our first times.
Correct.
It was really great.
Was it also our first time meeting in person? No, that was the previous October. Never mind.
That was the previous October.
How did I forget? I got hot sauce in my eye.
Oh yeah. Dad, I got hot sauce in my eye.
And ever since then, Josh was like, I need to make hot sauce.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. Actually, credit for that one for that hyperfixation goes to Amber from the Road to Tarvalin. Hashtag check them. She knows how. She's the one who taught me how to ferment peppers. To which I decided I need to do this, and then so the rest is history. I will say, when it comes to JordanCon, one of the most common things because they always do like the FAQ threads, and they always first time advice, things like that. And one of the things that everybody says, don't be afraid to go introduce yourself to people. Like everybody wants to meet you. Everybody wants to be your friend. And I cannot say this enough. It is not hyperbole. It is not cliche. It is accurate. You walk up to any group of people and they're like, hey, buddy, welcome. This is so awesome. I met a new friend. And
except that one guy.
No, well, fuck
no,
that.
Literally, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, you've read all the books? Great. You've read none of the books and you're here because another author you like is here? Great. Let's convert you to the Wheel of Time.
Right.
Last year we had a group of people there that had absolutely no idea what the books were and just saw, hey, party. They were in Atlanta for something else. They went down to the lobby of the hotel they were staying in, the Crown Royal, and they were like,
the Crown River?
It's a party. Yeah, the Crown River.
Is that the two rivers mixed with the Crown Plaza?
The Crown Plaza at Ravenna. Because after 3 years, I finally actually remember the real name of the hotel.
Yep.
So, but I've started saying to people that first off, that's true. But if that's still not enough, we bring swag. and other prizes and giveaways and things like that. So
I thought
it's not introducing
both in the
yourself to
Shakespearean way and in the materialistic way.
Yep, there you go.
Especially this year.
That damn Skippy. It's not introducing yourself to a stranger. It's coming up and getting free shit. And that we've got loads and loads and loads of free shit to give away. We got wristbands, we got stickers. We're gonna bring some books. We're doing the giveaway. We're doing this proper, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna get Michael Livingston's autograph in my copy of Origins.
Oh yeah, I should probably bring that. Just be like, Michael, I'm such a huge fan. Please sign the book I still haven't read.
Yeah, you dick.
Maybe I'll read it on the flight there. I mean, the flight there is an hour roughly.
One of the things I was saying we could do, one of the things I thought about that we could do is we could ask Michael Livingston if he wants to be on the show to do a re-attack of our no pun intended of our Black Tower battle tactics episode. How cool would that be to have a doctor of the history of war? I don't know what his doctorate's in, but it's a doctor of history specializing in like warfare, historical warfare, that kind of things. How cool would that be to have him like just jump on and talk about and
all of the inaccuracies that we had in that episode?
Yes, all of the mistakes that we've made. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, I digress. Jordancon is fantastic. There are a lot of people there. Yes. I think last year was like the highest turnout they had, and it was almost 2,000 people. Now, the Crown Plaza is a very large hotel.
It is,
but that's
you can fit so many Wheel of Time nerds in this thing. That's what I'm gonna do. Just walk up and like slap the glass, like slap the wall of the hotel.
I'm making that meme right now, and I'm gonna tweet it out. That's happening right now. You did it. You did this, Andrew.
Or you could wait until we're at Jordancon and we can make the TikTok of Andrew actually fucking doing it.
I'm down.
I mean, we could also do both if you want to.
Both is good.
So Volcano does.
Yeah. So like, just to like dial back to another point, because I know Josh was making it and we definitely distracted the shit out of him. I know I did. Us talking about both Jordancon and WoTCon, like you said, isn't to like say one's better than the other or to encourage you to go to one over or under the other. But we do realize and acknowledge that going to conventions, especially ones that are 3 months apart for many individuals, can be a financial strain.
Yep.
And
yes,
many individuals have to decide, are you going to go to one or the other? You can't make both, which is absolutely fine. The fact that you want to go is incredible. And there's generally some form of virtual content available for both, whether it's people that are attending, broadcasting from there, or putting up videos or TikToks or live tweeting, or even FOMOCon. If that's happening again this year, I don't know. I'm not on Twitter as much as I used to be, thankfully. So there's all these different ways.
Still, isn't it?
For now. It's only got 20% of the employees it had, but it's still there somehow. But
being run by a rat in somebody's chef hat.
Fucking Ratatouille. I actually just watched that movie again the other day. But so this is our third year going to Jordancon. So we have some experience with going to Jordancon, but we are far from experts at Jordancon. So if you've never been, or it's been a while since you've been, our experience and our interpretation, our feelings about Jordancon may be similar to your own. So us talking about both Jordancon and WoTCon may help you make the informed decision on which convention you are going to choose to attend this year or next year, or whatever the case may be. So it's meant to be more of like honestly, us just shooting the shit and talking about the two conventions that we go to and we really enjoy. And if in the process of that, you wind up saying like, okay, well, I've been to Jordancon 5 times, but I didn't go to WoTCon last year. I'm gonna go this year and see what that's different because I can't do both. Or you're gonna do the opposite. I went to WoTCon last year, but you're gonna go to Jordancon this year. Well, hopefully, if you're gonna go to Jordancon this year, you saw us because as this is live publicly, yeah, didn't really think that part through. Use it for next year, whatever.
Yay!
But that's why we're talking about both of them. It's not to say one is better or worse than the other. So we're just talking about what happens there.
So going back even further for just a moment, because I think this is a little bit of an important thing here to talk a little bit about the conception of Jordancon and the conception of WoTCon. Jordancon was actually the brainchild of a number of Dragon Mount people who had been involved with the Wheel of Time for a number of years. And they went ahead and started the convention in Atlanta. And right off the bat, they actually asked the people who, had helped make the Wheel of Time, to help them out with it, if you will. And so Harriet and Maria and a number of other people were not necessarily involved in every year of the early Jordancons or anything, but they at least were contacted and were like, hey, yes, that would be wonderful. Have a convention. You have our blessing. We are really happy that you're doing this. And at some point...
Here we go. All right, you guys ready? The meme is now going in the live chat because our live listeners get to hear it first, get to see it first. To jam!
Perfect.
And now I'm gonna tweet it out.
I kind of agree with Daniel. Let's tweet it out once we get there.
Oh, fine. I'm trying to do hype, but that's cool.
No. Tweet out.
No. I'm not voting. Cool.
Tweet out the meme as hype, and then we'll do the TikTok video when we're there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We can even do it Saturday, when I'm wearing the suit, so it kind of matches.
There you go.
I dig it.
There you go.
Oh, I dig it.
All right.
All right.
So Jordancon was started as that, and it has now been going on for quite a number of years. It has definitely attracted a number of other fantasy and sci-fi authors, as well as some YA authors who come to, meet people who are historically, or who they have now determined, based on their enjoyment of the Wheel of Time, might enjoy other books that are in a similar vein. It has a pretty awesome auction, as well as an art area and whatnot that's pretty solid. And there are lots of public events that are like parties, as well as quite a number of panels that are often run by people who have done many panels in the past and are fairly experienced going ahead and doing this, because Jordancon, as I said, has been ongoing for a number of years. It's also gotten a few pretty high-level guests in the Wheel of Time community as well, including, Brandon Sanderson comes, I think, every other year. Harriet has been there. Maria comes pretty regularly. Most of the members
she's there this year.
Yeah, that's why I said I think she comes pretty regularly. So she was there last year. She will be there this year. Lots of the Dragon Mount guys or Dragon Mount people at this point. Some of the original Dragon Mount guys, as well as the people that they've added over the years, are almost always there. So again, there's a lot of content creators. There's a lot of early Wheel of Time people involved in Jordancon, and it is very well established.
And there's ribbons.
There's lots of ribbons.
If you're watching us on YouTube, there's my last one, which is dynamically better than the previous year's one. I think I had 4 ribbons the first time, because I'm like, I'm not speaking to anybody. Well, I talked to people, but I didn't ask for ribbons.
This is it. This is my first ribbon right there. It's just beep, 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 beep. Okay, you can't see it really, but like this, I was like, oh, this is cool. I've got a couple of ribbons. Next year was like, oh yeah, no, I've got a ton of ribbons now.
Yeah.
And this isn't even all of them. Some of them fell off. But yes, ribbons are amazing. Ribbons are fun.
Indeed.
Yeah.
However, WoTCon is not unsimilar in its inception. After the TV show came out, a number of people kind of said, hey, we can't really go to Jordancon very often because it isn't in a time that really works for a lot of people. It was also partially because Jordancon after the pandemic actually ended up having to change its schedule and do
That's true.
That's 2021 Jordancon in the summer. And that changed the game in some ways. There were a lot of people who could actually go in 2021 who had not really been able to go previous years because of its April date. And so a number of fans got together and said, hey, now that we've seen the success of that and we can actually feel comfortable that there's a market here effectively, they said, why don't we make one that is by fans, for fans, with fans, power to the fans in the summer when you need fans. So it's
we'll say that was a
fandom.
That was a massive contributing factor to the dates selected for WoTCon. The conversation was already taking place about doing something like WoTCon, but it was nowhere near as full-fledged and in earnest as it was after the Jordancon had to do their event in the summer.
Well, if I remember correctly, WoTCon actually, part of the reason that there was a conversation about it was because Jordancon wasn't really held in 2020 and people were missing it. And so there was the online convention, but people were like, hey, I miss Jordancon. I want to do a convention. Can we put on a convention? And then it started a conversation of,
yeah, I want
to do a convention, and there were like 17 million different factors that then came into the actual conception of, okay, that like kind of tossed out idea of, can we do a convention somewhere besides Georgia, blah blah blah, like that, like all of it kind of came together to actually make WoTCon.
So I will say that about the same time the conversations on WoTCon started, there were also a plethora of other conversations amongst other groups in the fandom about doing their own kind of conventions or gatherings or whatever have you. So the conversation had been there, but it was more like, buddies, talking around a fire, drinking beers, just talking about, hey, wouldn't this be cool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly. The main thing I'm trying to do is and I do this all the time with WoTCon, and I know you guys do too. And I know it's definitely not what Daniel was trying to say or meant. I'm just fucking in that mode when it comes to WoTCon. It wasn't the success of Jordancon in the summer that resulted in WoTCon. WoTCon, sure. we didn't sit there like and I say we, like all the people that make WoTCon happen, and watch and see how Jordancon did in a July timeframe, and go, okay, well, we're going to do something in July because they don't normally. It definitely helped the decision.
Yes.
Because it showed that, but at the same hand, like we all knew that doing something in the summer when in the US, most people are free from school. More people are able to take vacations because this is the time where like people's kids aren't in school, so they take vacations from work. We knew that it was definitely more accessible for the individuals who just find themselves either busy with school or busy with family and school obligations for their children during what is the normal school year in the United States.
Yep.
So that's all I'm trying to say is it wasn't born straight out of the success of Jordancon.
Certain.
But it definitely helped seeing how many people wanted to go, which I'm sure it helped then the year before they did it in the summer. They couldn't. Everything was virtual for Jordancon.
Yes.
So
that is correct.
Yeah.
So one of the things that is a big difference right now between WoTCon and JordanCon is that feel of who's putting it on. Because WoTCon is still very early. Now, I guarantee that at some point it will lose a little bit of this as more people end up being involved and there's more contracts and there's more tickets and there's more desire and things like that. I can guarantee that it'll lose a little bit of its, by the people for the people thing, but that's still baked into the con. So I don't think it will actually lose that. I just think out of necessity, there will still be a little bit more separation between what it is now and what it will become, just because of size and things like that. But right now, one of the coolest things about WoTCon is that it feels so, there's so much camaraderie that it's certainly not like that doesn't exist at JordanCon. It's just that the people who you see doing panels and running panels and moderating panels, and the people that you see running the opening ceremonies, and the people who you see running the dance floor, and people who you see and all of that, they're going to be out in the con with you the whole time. They're absolutely people that you can just walk up to for most of the con and say, hey, you're Nameless. Awesome job with the DJing. Or, hey, you're Andrew. Like, awesome job going ahead and moderating that panel.
Awesome job not coming down with the Rona this year.
Well, there's that.
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
Andrew, if you could not get sick this year, that would be great.
I'll do what I can.
But like,
yeah,
again,
DJ Nibbles.
Right? It definitely feels like a slightly different feel. Which honestly, again, I'm going to be down on WoTCon a little bit because
you're going to go down on WoTCon?
Yes, always.
Nice.
Because I will admit that we do absolutely curate people who are on panels. We don't just sort of say anybody who wants to ever do a panel gets to do a panel. There is. But at the same time, you're not necessarily going to get a certain amount of expertise that you get at JordanCon. Because at JordanCon, one of the reasons that it doesn't necessarily feel like that is that there are some famous people who do panels. There are some like really intelligent, in the world of Wheel of Time for years, know their stuff. And if they went ahead and walked around, they'd kind of be mobbed in the same way as Brandon Sanderson does. And they don't get as much time to just talk to everybody and things like that because of who they are and what they do and what they know. Which makes the panels kind of elevated to a certain extent, but also loses that camaraderie feeling just a little of the, I just saw this person moderate a panel and now they're eating lunch with me out in the lobby. Like, and that was one of the things that I loved about WoTCon was that it was really like all of the people doing all of the things were so meshed.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, JordanCon has just been around longer and has more people and has more clout and can get and can do certain things that WoTCon has not yet earned, I guess, in some ways. Yeah. Not necessarily earned, but I don't know, whatever word you want to put there that's not necessarily, they just haven't been around as long.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of paying your dues when it comes to like the individuals that attract, like, and behind the scenes, there were a lot more individuals both last year and this year than are out there that were the guests for WoTCon this year, and our last year and the guests for WoTCon this year. That definitely have interest in going.
Certainly.
But that's all I'm going to say about that because I don't want to give anything away about who those individuals are because ultimately they either can't or it's still a surprise. I don't know. We'll find out in July. But again, like this is the 16th or 17th JordanCon, I believe, that's going on. I don't know. We'll have to ask Patrick because he's been to all but the first one.
Actually, not quite. I think it's not. I think it's 15, 14.
They did their first one in 2009.
Yeah, so 2009 to 2023 is technically 14, but I think you 14. Can count both of them. So we'd be on 15, I think. Because
that probably
2009 is included in the number, because when you usually do subtraction, you don't include. So I think
however many,
we're
there's
doing 15.
Yeah, but there's been a ton of them going on, and they've been around for a while, so they've built the kind of notoriety of being the annual convention. And like occasionally there will still be you'll be sitting around, like this happened to us our first year there. I know Josh and I were just chilling at the bar waiting for Daniel to get in still. Thank you, Spirit. Fictitious airline, Ghost Airlines. And Daniel Green like just randomly walked over and was like, hey, mind if I sit with you guys and just relax for a bit? So it can happen, but that is like,
and that's when you threw salt at him and we're like, no, get out of here, goblin.
Sat down and he's like, I'm going to need about tree fitting.
No, I will say this.
Definitely possible.
Just to clarify, Daniel Green was awesome. He sat down, he hung out with us.
He was not actually.
He just chilled. Fantastic guy. If you get a chance to say hi to him, absolutely do that. But just
be respectful.
Be considerate. Be respectful, because he's kind of a big deal, and a lot of people want to talk to him, and this is fair. That's fine. But
that's for everybody.
Person, he also has,
Also,
that was to say, like, it is possible at Jordancon that will happen. There's nothing about Jordancon that means that you won't find yourself standing in a group chatting with like the same year Sarah Nakamura being there. You never know. But the difference with WoTCon is the people from the panels
that was exactly
sitting at tables with like the attendees and everything, because most of the people on panels are also attendees or members trying to help make WoTCon happen. It's built in to WoTCon, and for me, that's the biggest difference between WoTCon and Jordancon for me.
I agree.
Jordancon is definitely, there's something for everybody. There's different tracks. There's writers tracks. There's Wheel of Time tracks. There's artist tracks. There's the art auction that benefits, I believe, is it Mayo Clinic?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
I believe it Mayo Clinic, because Jordancon Inc. is a 501c4 company, which means they're tax exempt and they make charitable donations. However, your donations that you give to Jordancon are not tax deductible for you because they are 501c4, not a 501c3. So where was I going? Somewhere true. Oh yeah, difference. But there's something there for everybody, and you can have just as much fun hanging out in the lobby and chatting with your fellow nerds as you can going to a panel or walking through the different tracks or going to the big dance or karaoke night or whatever they happen to be doing. But it's meant to be, here is a buffet of options. You walk, your own beat, your own path, do what you want when you want. These things will be available. And WoTCon, where it doesn't force anybody to do anything, the convention is built to emphasize the groups getting together and attending the panels and attending the main sessions and attending the Saturday lunch together. Like that's main programming, is doing lunch together on Saturday. And so the everybody in a group attending everything together is built into the way WoTCon is programmed and set up. So it's more like a catered dinner, whereas Jordancon is an open buffet.
Yep. No, I think that's a really good way of sort of describing a difference, and one of the bigger differences of Jordancon versus WoTCon. Not versus, that's a bad word. Jordancon and WoTCon, and what they both bring to a very successful table.
So one of the things that I will say, just as a contrast, and this might help someone if you're deciding, because I know there was a lot of backtracking there. Stay with me for just a second.
Never.
We live in a time in which we are blessed by the light to have two Wheel of Time centric conventions. Now, there are lots of fantasy conventions, and that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. But there are only 2 in the United States, because Con is a 3rd one in the UK. We live in a time where there's 3.
You also have SpoilerCon. So
is that Wheel of Time centric?
Yeah, it's for Wheel of Time spoilers.
Oh, snap.
It's also in October.
We live in a time in which things are awesome and people are amazing.
Gathering Madness.
And the Gathering Madness, yes, which is in Utah this year, also in October. Not
correct.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm excited to be going back. Hopefully this time I don't have to shit in the wilderness.
I've got some real fun plans for the Gathering Madness in October. So you guys are gonna love you guys are gonna love it. I'm just gonna put it this way. Evermore Park. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
Oh, it's fucking sweet. Yes. All right. I was excited. Anyway,
which might actually mean that Andrew needs to shit in the woods. So
hey, but at least then it will be fucking thematic.
Yes.
So when it comes
to John Mahale shit in the woods,
the main difference between WoTCon and JordanCon is the very energy and the feel of it. I will go to JordanCon this weekend / last weekend. And I guarantee you that I will be both happy and sad. Because I will be happy at everything I did. But I will be sad that I was unable to do more. Like, it's just how JordanCon is. JordanCon is so big that you will sit down, download the schedule app, right? Because there's a schedule app. You can select JordanCon. It's got all the events. You can plan all your events. Your phone will give you notifications
alerts
to tell you when you're supposed to be there. Et cetera, et cetera. Do that because that'll allow you to do the things that you really, really, really want to do. Now, WoTCon is sort of the inverse of that. You can attend about 75% of WoTCon if you're smart. You can attend the panels and stuff like that. There at any given time, there's 2 or 3 panels. 75, is that too high?
Yeah, there were 4 panels going on at any given time.
If you're talking about panels, at best, if you count attending the full panel, you can attend about 25% of the panel.
Yeah.
However,
but there's also
they will be recorded.
And this is where is also where I was going with this. The other thing is they've got convention-wide events so you've got, which I know JordanCon does too, like opening ceremonies and things like that.
Yeah.
Nablis, who is the founder of WoTCon, has things like convention lunch, convention dinner. Like we actually have food that is straight up. There's no panels going. There's no events going, nothing. The event is the meal, where you go collect the meal, you sit down with a stranger, preferably, and you break bread and make friends and connect and form lifelong friendships that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And it's
maybe start a podcast or something. I don't know.
Maybe start a podcast. Hey, look.
Do it.
It's phenomenal. It's great. We love it. We did it.
Yeah,
Andrew was like, let's do the podcast. And then Daniel and I were like, yeah, Andrew, we love you, Andrew. Can we join too? And Andrew was like, yes, you may come to me.
Pretty sure it went the opposite way of that. Like, I can't do this on my own. Help.
But yeah, I would say that actually, legitimately, you can attend about 40 to 50% of what WoTCon offers. If you're just going to everything every hour, if you will.
Yeah.
Definitely, you're going to miss a lot of panels. Because again, you can really only attend 25% of those at any given time. But again, as stated, you can watch them later. All of them are recorded. All of them are set up in a way that you can go ahead and watch them afterwards, whether it be, you know, not getting any sleep that night and figuring out what the panels were that day, or coming home from WoTCon and sleeping it all off and then going ahead and taking 3 weeks to catch up, or whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something that's interesting, is that one of the other differences between Jordancon and WoTCon also stems in some ways from the idea that Jordancon started in 2009, which means that there was technology. It's not like it was the Stone Age or anything, but it definitely was not as available of the different ways that we have to go ahead and proliferate the media to everyone who wants to go ahead and take it in. And now that WoTCon started in 2022, which was after a pandemic where we learned a lot about what we could go ahead and do to proliferate video streaming and things like that to as many people who wanted in some ways. That is, again, another piece that's sort of baked into the convention. Whereas Jordancon is sort of getting up to that threshold, because they're definitely working on it. It's not baked into the convention, because in 2009, it wasn't an ingredient you could bake in, really.
Not legally, at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate, like, one of the big points about all of this is, so all three of us are involved in the planning and the working to make WoTCon happen.
Correct.
So we get to see the behind the scenes of what makes WoTCon tick, what makes WoTCon happen as far as a public event. And the teams there are just incredible. The dedication, the attention to detail, just the focus on making this as good as is reasonably possible for the people that are attending and all of us as well, because we want to enjoy the hell out of it too. And I know last year, despite me being sick, I still enjoyed the hell out of being there. I wish I remembered more of being there, but I still enjoyed the hell out of being there. But, you know, this is a convention where, you know, we had 300 some odd people at its first year for WoTCon. And it was a lot of work. Of course, inaugural year, you're getting everything set up for the first time. You're getting the website set up. You're getting an idea of how you're going to do programming. You're getting agreements and contracts done with the venue and figuring out, you know, all the different things you're going to do, getting volunteers, figuring out how you're going to schedule everything. It was an enormous task the first year. And where parts of it are a bit easier this year, like a website doesn't have to be built from the ground up this year because, hey, it's already built. We just have to update it. Other things are, you know, where we noticed last year is we can do this better in this way, or we can make it more user-friendly in this way or that way. And that never stops whenever you plan events, when you plan conventions. And the more popular and the more successful they are, the more pressure there is to keep up that standard. So with that in mind, to the staff of Jordancon and the board of Jordancon that makes Jordancon happen every year, and it's always an incredible event, I am even more impressed now, having done the stuff with WoTCon and seeing behind the scenes there, than I was the first year that I was at Jordancon, because it is an incredible amount of work that they put in to make this happen. They do have an absolutely incredible team that doesn't just love the Wheel of Time, that just loves hanging out in Atlanta for at least a weekend and nerding out with all the rest of the nerds and just having fun. You're not going to regret going to either one. You're definitely not going to regret going to both.
For real. We recognize, you know, times are tough, things are crazy. And, you know, not everyone is blessed to be able to attend.
The creator is great. Beer is good.
The creator is great. Beer is good. But
People
The
are
creator made beer.
If
so
you have to pick one or the other, if you are blessed enough to be able to pick one or the other, for me, the big difference, and again, WoTCon is still evolving, right? WoTCon is still new. WoTCon is still in embryo. I wouldn't say it's an embryo. I would say it's in infancy. So things, will change. Things will grow. But for now, for the next couple of years, if you want something that's more intimate, something that's more because it's a smaller convention, it feels a little bit more
muchier.
What's the word I'm searching? It's muchier. No, I don't want to say that. It's not. It's a much more of a singular type event. Yes, there will be times where you are going to a panel and you're missing out on another panel. That's going to happen. But at WoTCon, there's this sense that everybody who goes to WoTCon starts out in the morning together, goes and does their things, and then ends up together in the end of the evening. Jordancon, you are sort of,
you run your own.
I don't want to say you're an island, but you're kind of an island where you wake up and you go, okay, what do I want to do today? You go to the panels, you go to the different events, you will make friends. There are plenty of extroverts there who will adopt you if you are not an extrovert. And you'll find yourself given the choices of, hey, we're doing dinner here, or hey, we're doing dinner here, or hey, we've got gaming over here. And you will find yourself at Jordancon with choices. Whereas WoTCon, again, the choices you have are, yeah, I'm going to go to this panel or this panel. But at the end of the night, we're all going to be eating dinner, and then we're all going to be singing songs and having a few drinks and ordering in DoorDash pizzas and having a great old time in the lobby, and things are going to be great. So it's a very different feel. It's a different environment, but both are absolutely amazing.
Yes.
If you want to be in a place where everybody starts out as a whole, splits out, comes back as a whole at the end of the night, WoTCon. If you are someone who wants the freedom of exploring and going around and maybe hanging out with this group, and then hanging out with that group, and then hanging out with that group, Jordancon. I mean, both of them are amazing experiences. I cannot talk them up enough. Both of them are absolutely ridiculously awesome.
I do think it's humorous that Josh went ahead and used the example of going ahead and getting DoorDash pizza, when I distinctly remember rooming with Andrew last year at Jordancon and him calling me a food goblin because I condensed all of the
motherfucker clean house.
Pizza.
Bruh, I woke, and don't get me wrong, I was infinitely thankful because I was hungover as shit. And I woke up and there was like a pizza and a half. There was a fucking bag of cheese curds in the mini fridge, like authentic, like from I guess Wisconsin or whatever, cheese curds.
Yeah.
Like it looked like if you've ever been to like a family reunion that was a potluck, and there's that uncle that hangs around to the end and takes the last bit of food out of all the pots. Like, and everybody's thankful because that's less they have to clean up or throw away. That was Daniel. Like, the other Daniel may be a goblin on YouTube, but Daniel Byshane is a fucking food goblin, and it is wonderful.
Yes. Also, just a word to everyone this year, both for Jordancon and WoTCon. It definitely happened more at Jordancon than WoTCon. Do a little bit of staying till the end, more than we did last year, because there were actually 2 days where either left in the lobby on Thursday or left in the karaoke room on Friday, the big ballroom. There was a lot of stuff left. And I absolutely understand that this is a convention and we are effectively in a contract with the hotel to let us use their space and then also have staff to make that space ready again later. I'm aware of that and I appreciate that. And I am sure that the people at the hotel are happy to be employed doing certain things and not have the hotel be like, oh no, all of the conventions all just 100% clean up after themselves all the time, so we don't need you, go fuck off. But at the same time, there is a difference between understanding that that is true and appreciating them for going ahead and doing their jobs and leaving an entire lobby for them to clean up after you've gone to bed. So again, not saying anything about anybody. I'm not trying to call anybody out or do anything like that. But if you have ordered pizza or anything like that, or you have ordered cans of beer or anything like that, pick them up. Pick up after yourselves. It's not that hard to do, and it's way easier if each individual does it rather than one person having to run around and do all of it afterwards. But again, that's just my soapbox moment for ever so slight amount of time. You guys are awesome, and I don't want anybody to not hear that. And also, I am the guy who stays until the end of the party and takes everybody's food. So I got pizza last year by you not doing that. But also, I can go without pizza if we're respectful.
I will say this too. Both the Crown Plaza and the what's the hotel that
the Columbus Marriott Northwest.
Yeah, the Columbus Marriott. Both of them, and I know this about WoTCon because, like I said, I'm in on the meetings where they do the organization and planning. And I know this about Jordancon because I actually spoke to some of the cleaning staff and said, hey, sorry, let me move this chair back. Hey, sorry, let me get this, taken care of. And they were very vocal at the Crown Plaza that actually this is one of our favorite events because the hotel's packed and you guys are very respectful and very conscientious of your surroundings. And this is not to take away from what Daniel said because I understand what you were saying, Daniel, and I appreciate that.
Well, and there are also levels to this, but yeah.
Yes. But the point being, the Wheel of Time crowd, the people that have attended these two conventions have been so awesome that the hotel staff from both hotels have commented how much they love hosting a Wheel of Time convention.
Well, it's also hilarious because we felt like we were sorry, not all of us necessarily, but as a seemingly large majority of both conventions, there were times where we would talk to the hotel staff and whatnot, and we'd be like, hey, we're actually really sorry that we were so loud here last night, or like we got a little rowdy, or like we're sorry that there was some garbage. And again, Josh is totally right. Every time we like started a conversation like that, where they were like, what? No, what are you talking about? You guys are fine. Like, we have football conventions here that are like hundreds of decibels louder and like, blah, 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 messier and whatnot, which is, again, Josh is absolutely right. I do still stick with my point, which I as he said, he's not necessarily disagreeing with. Be respectful. Continue to be respectful. Also appreciate how respectful we already are and appreciate that from the staff. But yeah.
So we've talked a lot about the differences. And again, I second everything Josh and Daniel just said. Both for
because we always agree
added validity
each other.
That like what they're saying is absolutely true. But yeah, but I do have that insufferable need to agree with you guys all the time. Always happens. So we talked a lot about how WoTCon and Jordancon are different, and they are different by design. Absolutely. Let's do so, and we've done this before. I think we do this every year, but let's talk about some Jesus Christ. Sorry, I got distracted by a picture of 3 bottles of.
Oh yeah.
If you too want to be distracted by 3 bottles of fine adult beverage,
damn.
BlackTowerPod.com. Click on the Patreon link for $1 a month. You can see everything in the chat too, and listen to us live.
Shout out to Village Mattresses for providing this moment of.
We're gonna have to figure out what the 3 of us are gonna do and how we're gonna do that. So we need to talk about that later. Anyway, pointers. Let's do Jordancon first. Biggest pointer that we learned. Did we learn this our first year? I think we did. Yeah, we learned it our first year because we knew it the second year. If you are of legal drinking age and you care to partake of adult beverages, if you are in the hotel spaces, they must be hotel provided beverages. Now, if you have soda or water, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, in your room, a nondescript container.
Yes.
Not an opaque nondescript container.
You can't see into the container thing. Obviously, with that, be better than I was at WoT. Be responsible. Be cognizant of what you're doing. Know your limits. And if you're not going to know your limits, make sure it's so late in the night that nobody's around to really see it.
That's fair.
No, honestly, it's just as much of a risk. Like, I would not recommend attending the opening ceremonies Friday already plastered, because you never know when you're going to get pulled into a game already plastered and meet somebody intrinsic to Team Jordan and not remember it, or barely remember it.
That seems pointed, Andrew.
That's based on a true story.
Based on the true story. Just be cognizant. That guy
sounds like an idiot.
This is coming from somebody that's just as guilty of not being cognizant as trying to be cognizant and failing. But I have a chaperone this year, so be better. At least at Jordancon.
Also, this goes back to the hotel staff and stuff. They do work hard and they do have a lot going on for the hotel. And part of our agreement with the hotel is that we don't actually have an agreement with the hotel that we will eat or drink at the bar or anything like that. And we're not doing dinner at Jordancon. That being said, the idea behind hosting a convention, you don't usually make very much money on the rooms themselves. A lot more of the money comes from the things that you can sell in your bar and things like that. So definitely save yourself a buck. Absolutely 100%. Save yourself a buck. Get yourself some booze or whatever else it is that you would like to drink if you're not drinking, or get yourself some edibles or whatever. But please also be respectful to the hotel. And if you can order a drink at the bar, go get a drink at the bar. Go enjoy at least one of those so that you're telling the hotel, thank you very much for hosting us. Add a little to your till here. Tip your staff well, all of that stuff. But again, also save yourself a buck, because it's that like happy medium. You don't have to buy every drink that you get at the bar, but also buy one, like that kind of thing. Like,
2 things for Jordancon real quick. Buy edibles. Daniel in Atlanta absolutely means just food, snacks, regular food and snacks, because it's Georgia and other types of edibles aren't legal there.
Correct.
So officially, for legal reasons, don't do that. YouTube, we said don't do that, because that is not okay in Georgia. Yeah. So bring yourself some Chips Ahoy cookies or Oreos or Funyuns, whatever you got to do. Other thing
Gummy bears.
Gummy gummy bears are delicious. Yeah, whatever you gotta do. And with that too, the bar situation at Jordancon, which ties into something else at this point. When it comes to Friday night, Saturday night, if you are not there early, it is near impossible to get to the bar. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try, like Daniel said. If definitely go down, at least buy a drink or something from the bar if you can. And of course, they have their restaurant and food options open throughout the day. I believe they open for breakfast somewhere around like 6 a.m. and they close for breakfast at 11, or maybe a little earlier, maybe 10. It's all on the hotel's website, but they definitely have breakfast hours, lunch hours, and dinner hours. And the bar stays open reasonably late, especially with how many people are there. I think last year I saw them frequently open until at least 10 or 11, I believe. Don't quote me.
I remember intimately when they closed on Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I wasn't there.
It was 11.
Or was I there? I don't know.
You were not there.
Just like I will not be there Sunday night tonight. But the other point,
Sunday night tonight?
Huh?
Tonight.
Yeah, no, I gotta head back this time. The other point with that, if you can, absolutely don't overextend yourself or your finances. But if you can, definitely for both conventions, if you can, arrive a little early. If you can get there for Thursday, get there for Thursday. Some people are guaranteed to be there Wednesday. I know for WoTCon, I will be there Wednesday. Like that's guaranteed unless something absolutely tragic and terrible happens. And if you can stay until the day after, so if you're leaving like Monday or leaving Tuesday morning, that's definitely advantageous because then you also get to be in the same kind of venue and atmosphere and you get to wind down before you have to travel. But there's always people there still just hanging out. So if you have
I'm not
that option,
unconvinced there aren't people who live at that hotel that are just there all year.
This is true.
Yes.
They emerge from the garden out back once a year.
From the Ogier Grove.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
Don't be so hasty to leave Jordancon.
Right. And then, of course, the other suggestion, the other piece of advice is, well, I guess another piece. I'm sure there are a number of others. But the biggest other piece of advice that I can give is figure out your social battery and use it well. Yes. And what I mean by that is if it's time for you to go to bed because you're done for the day, it doesn't matter whether that's 8:30 in the evening or 2 in the morning. That's 100% fine. There are people who are probably going to give you a hard time if you are leaving early. They're just giving you a hard time because it's fun, not because they actually don't want you to go up and go to sleep and be ready for the next day.
It's because they'll miss you.
Exactly.
They're not making fun of you. They're sad that you're leaving.
Yes.
I will tell you right now, I am one of those. So if I'm giving you shit, you feel free to absolutely say to me, no, seriously, I need to go to sleep. And I will be totally okay with that.
Yeah, I think everyone is actually very respectful. I have never actually felt like anybody was being that guy. You lame, going to sleep. Like, again, it's just because they'll miss you. It's just because they're having a good time with you and they don't want you to leave because they want the time to continue. Not because they don't want you to take care of yourself, not because they're actually judging you for going to sleep, any of those things. And the other piece of that sort of social battery thing is if you are a super introvert, that's totally fine. You don't need to walk up to people and say, hi, my name is Daniel. You don't need to walk up to people and say, hey, talk to me. If that's something that makes you uncomfortable, that's totally fine. I do recommend join a group. You can come up and sit in a circle or on a couch or anything like that and just
throw that ass in a circle.
Right?
Come talk to us.
And you can just
hang out with us
out in the circle and enjoy what's going on and decide when it is that you would like to say something or never say something or wait for someone to ask you a question. The likelihood that you will actually not ever get asked to participate is pretty low. Also, if you want to find somebody who's an extrovert and you want them to adopt you, we're here. We're going to be there. we're excited about doing that kind of thing.
There probably will be ribbons that say extrovert, introvert as well.
Exactly. So again, go ahead and use those to the best of your ability. Figure that kind of thing out in terms of what you are capable of and what you want, and go for it. There are a number of strategies to get you there, a number of strategies to make extra friends, to make extra conversation and all of that. And as stated a million times, but we love meeting new people. We love extra, people being added to groups and conversations and stuff like that. So if you ever see one of these three faces, we're here for you.
Yeah. And don't be surprised, like, and it's not like it's not meant like offensively or whatever. If you come up and say, "Hey, my name is Tom," and we don't immediately go like, "Oh, hey, I remember you," or "Hey, I recognize your name," because if we only ever like, if we see you in Discord all the time or on Twitter all the time, and your name is, Slayer 69 420, then it might be a thing like, "Hey, I'm Tom. I'm on Twitter or I'm in your Discord as Slayer 69 420." And then we'll almost definitely go, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like,
yep.
Because
that is an excellent
commonly see
point.
your internet name, not your government name. So, and if you don't want anybody to know, then you don't have to tell anybody. Be like, "Hey, my name's Tom." Like, it's definitely your personal comfortability.
That is true.
For sure. There's no pressure or expectations. So,
yep.
What if you always call yourself Smack? I prefer you say Smack, not like walk and be like, "Hey, and slap me in the face."
Yes.
So I'm far too dumb. I won't get it. That'd be hilarious.
Also, my wonderful partner just reminded me that at Jordancon there's also speed friending. So if you are one of the people who has a slightly difficult time going ahead and doing that unstructured, there's even structure. And they'll be happy to go ahead and pop you in and make you some friends.
Oh God, he's bringing buffalo trays.
Oh man.
I appreciate the 2 extra inches, Mac. I appreciate it.
Everyone always appreciates 2 extra inches.
I also have a bad back, so I sit down a lot. So there you go.
All right, well, let's go into some final thoughts. We can do our actual sort of suggestions and things we learned from and all of that for WoTCon when we get a little closer to there. But right now, I feel like we've talked a lot about this subject, and mostly it's just because we're excited. We're very excited to either be going to or be back from Jordancon, depending on when you're seeing this. And we're just ready. We know it's going to be awesome. It's been awesome. And unless there's a fire started in the hotel, it's going to be awesome again this year, or already was awesome, or whatever.
Depends on if Josh fucks up showing off Fireball again.
Right. Exactly. But anyway.
Oh, I'm going to teach everyone how to cast Fireball.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can only teach men how to cast Fireball.
True. I do. It is a bit problematic with the ladies.
You can't teach a fish to fly.
That's true.
Unless they're a flying fish.
Also anyway, true.
It's not flying, it's falling with style.
Nice. So final thoughts. Jordancon is a lot of fun. It's very structured, and it's very cool to see all of the different plans and machinations that have gone into it for the last 14 years. It's really awesome to see and meet people who really know what they're talking about when it comes to Wheel of Time, because they were either integral in writing the books or have poured over Robert Jordan's notes, or a handful of other different situations of people who just know stuff, just so much stuff. And so definitely recommend that one if you are the kind of person who enjoys structure and information. If you are the kind of person who can only go to one, and you're the kind of person who likes a little bit more of a fan-based experience, and lots of people who sort of know their stuff but weren't necessarily involved in writing the story, some more theories, more ethereal kind of stuff, more fourth age, postulation and things like that. It's definitely, WoTCon is definitely the kind of place where you're going to be able to get into really in-depth conversations with just people who want to talk about it. And there's also
that
food,
is true,
which is cool. It does mean that Jordancon's a little less expensive, I think. But WoTCon also provides food. Yeah, upfront. That's what I was saying. Jordancon's a little less expensive upfront for a ticket. WoTCon's a little more expensive upfront for a ticket. But you also don't have to go wait 2.5 hours for a table at Cheesecake Factory. You can just eat the catered dinner that happens and things like that.
Definitely have to make reservations for that because I got to go. I've never been to a Cheesecake Factory, so
what?
Despite having been to JordanCon twice before.
All right. Well then, that's fun.
That might be the plan for Thursday night.
Nice. So again, that is the kind of thing that I feel about WoTCon. So enjoy responsibly. Please do not break the bank when you go to either or both or neither. Make sure that you have the right choice for you. Make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into financially, but please come to one. We would love to see you. If you are serious about this book series and you love it and you want to go talk to people about it, make it out to one whenever you can. And we would love to see you there. And we will look forward to having your beautiful faces at one of the two.
Yeah. My final, a lot of the same, honestly. If you can't go to both, definitely you will not be disappointed going to either one. Just whichever one works out better for you, time-wise, logistically, financially, spiritually, metaphysically, whatever works out best for you. Go and do it, and you'll find a ton of friends. Like Will Brother said here in the live chat, volunteer if you can. It's definitely a fun experience, and it's a guaranteed way. Just being there is a guaranteed way to meet people, but also volunteering is another guaranteed way to meet people for sure.
True.
And you'll be in good company because volunteers are an integral part of what make both of these conventions function in the way they do.
Facts.
Yeah, they definitely should be appreciated for sure, not taken advantage of. Just like the wonderful staff at the hotels. It's an all-around fantastic experience. You get to go for a weekend. You get to leave the problems at work and all that shit behind. You get to come and nerd out about your favorite book series. If you're going to JordanCon, there's a couple more book series or at least books that you can nerd out about, as well as a bunch of incredible artists and a bunch of incredible individuals from across the fantasy literature spectrum. Whereas WoTCon, it's all Wheel of Time. It is Wheel of Time, start to finish, front to back, left to right. Obviously, you can talk about other stuff there. There's not like an embargo on other conversations, but
right.
But yeah, they're both a lot of fun. And we hope to see you at least one of them. And again, if you see one of us, if you see all three of us, it doesn't matter. Just like you would with anybody else you go up to speak to, a courteous manner, but please do come up and say hi. Like, obviously, if we're in the middle of talking to somebody, we're pretty good, especially now, about looking out and like seeing if there's people like that seem to be like looking like they're trying to come and say hi or talk. We will sit there and be like, hey, how's it going? Or we'll try to do something to invite you over to talk. But it's not a special consideration or kindness that you give us or anybody else is there. It's, that kind of common human decency and courtesy of not interrupting people in the middle of a conversation. But, definitely don't be hesitant to come up and say hi or just sit in a circle and listen to everybody. If you don't want to talk and somebody says, oh, what do you think? Just be like, oh, I'm just listening. And they'll be like, cool, keep going. That's all I got.
I will say that having had the chance to talk with some of the big names at both events, okay, I was able to talk to Kate Redding at WoTCon. I was able to talk to Maria Simmons twice. Well, once I remember. That's good. I will say this, that both events are very down to earth, very easygoing, and very, very, very exciting to be a part of. The differences is, as I've outlined before, Jordancon is very much you write your own adventure, you have your own fun, and WoTCon is like that as well. But at the end of the day, at WoTCon, you'll reconvene with all the people, and basically everybody's just in the lobby, and you get to talk about the different things that happened that day, and so it makes for a much more intimate feeling. I'll echo what my people said. It's not, it's not a situation where you'll regret coming to either, and you'll love coming to both even more. And I will just quote Kate Redding at WoTCon, who basically said that this is the best fandom that they've ever been a part of, that they couldn't do appearances like this without the people being as open, friendly, and kind as they are. So if you are someone who is a little bit more introverted, a little bit more shy, totally fine, totally cool. Do not exceed your comfort levels, but maybe push your comfort just a little bit, because you might meet your next best friend at one of these events, and that's not exaggeration.
Or your partner.
Hey, or your partner. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening to the Black Tower Podcast. We talk about the things that we love more than anything, which is the Wheel of Time. And what we love more than anything is conventions, where we get to go and literally be in a room full of people who talk about the Wheel of Time and get your Wheel of Time references. That might be the most mind-blowing piece of this entire equation. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Sora von Mahale, Josh.
I've been that there Bijan Mahale, Andrew.
And I love how Josh's internet waited until his sign off to just give a little bit of pause there. I am your Amin Khan Mahale, Daniel. And from all of us here at the Black Tower, again, thank you so much for being here. Go check out blacktowerpod.com, because we somehow never said that in this episode. But go check that out. Go check out Jordancon's website and look at those things. Go check out WoTCon's website. Make yourself familiar with everything that there is out there in the Wheel of Time fandom for you. And we hope that you're having a great day while you're doing that. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening.
Always watching, always running the show.
Bye-bye.